Hello and welcome to Effervescent, where we embrace a full circle approach to health. To start this off, Kinley had an amazing idea. We're going to do it from now on, so I will give it to Kinley.
Cool. We're just going to start every episode. Instead of like meditating, you're probably driving, we're just going to do it with 3 breaths. So the first breath will just be like a normal breath. The second one, you're going to get a little deeper. And then the third one, you're going to take the biggest breath you've taken all day. So we're just going to take a second to do that.
Do we shut our eyes? This is kind of awkward. We keep our eyes open.
I mean, I'm doing it while you're talking, so whatever you want.
Okay, this is good.
Here, you lead the breaths, Kin.
Okay, first breath is just a normal deep breath. Soften your shoulders as you exhale. Okay, second breath, see if you can take a little bit deeper breath and expand it into the tummy. And then exhale. If you want to exhale with your mouth open, you can. Now this last breath, soften the body before you take a breath in and deep inhale. The biggest breath you've taken all day. Oxygenate that blood. And then open mouth exhale, let it all go. Perfect. Go for it.
I love that. I feel like that really does ground the space and ground almost what is needed to be said and heard. Because I believe that whatever's said on these episodes is what is needed to be said. So you can do all of the things, but so I appreciate that. I think that's going to be great.
Yeah, and I hope that it also helps the listener take a moment too to open up and create space within themselves to hear the downloads that they need to hear. Like hear the things said that are going to help them the most.
Absolutely. Okay, gosh. So this episode's kind of I keep saying it's kind of an intense one. I don't want to say intense in a bad way. I want to say like invigorating, fiery, like passionate in a good way, you know? This is the time where some people fall off, okay? You know, if you have the New Year's resolutions and all of that stuff, which is great. This is the time where it's like, oh yeah, like what am I doing again? It's like the jump start. So I think it's a good one to start off with.
What was my goal?
Yeah, what was my goal? Oh yeah, I do still want that. Like I still do want to achieve that and whatnot. So I hear you and I feel you and I think we all are. So in this episode, regardless of what is said, we also hear the struggle as well. Yeah. I really want to talk about my breakthrough. So if you saw the title of this video, it's going to be something like how to actually do the thing, okay? There's this thing you want to do. You've probably wanted to do it for a few years, or you've talked about it and you researched about it and all this stuff, and yet like you don't do it. You haven't done it, simply. And you can go into all the reasons why and you know, why it's too hard.
All the life
things, excuses, all the hard, you know, as to why, but it's simply you haven't done it yet. And sometimes when you can just sit there and be like, all right, you know, there's all these things that are hard, but yeah, I haven't done it yet, and that's me. So what can I do about it? And I think that's the empowering portion of like, what can I do about it? Because I can do something about it. So for this episode, I thought it'd be a perfect one to talk about like my breakthrough with my fitness journey. And if you guys ever want to know more about that, you can refer back always to the first episode we dived into our life story and why we're here. So I kind of like am laughing because I don't know if you guys have ever heard me like talk about it like this before. But so for me, one of my goals was to like lose weight and be healthier, just better in my body. It wasn't even about the weight. It was like, oh, I can't run like I used to run. I can't play the sports like I used to do easily. Like it's taking a lot of effort. I don't even feel like I want to move my body anymore. And that was the weird thing too, is like I used to love it and now I don't even care for it anymore. Why? But anyways, so this is my breaking point. And it's crazy because it actually brings in so much spirituality, and you would have never thought, but this is a true story to the listener too. Like I'm not making this up.
I'm like, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm not making this up. It's okay. Maybe I'm overhyping it. It's not that crazy, but it's funny to me. It really is. So my favorite like. You know, we always have like guilty pleasures or whatever. And I have an approach to food where it's like no food is like bad or good, and you want to have like a pretty neutral, like what can you do to fuel your body type of a thing. But I did have like my order. Okay, so my order when I wanted to eat a lot of food that was like just good food was a Subway footlong. Okay, in high school, I would get a Subway footlong, a big like chip bag and a big drink or whatever. I mean, it's like not
A lot of people do that.
and I'm gonna say it wasn't that crazy, but this is what's kind of like. And this was my breakthrough where I really realized like, oh, okay, I need to look at something here. So I got my regular order. I went upstairs. I would always eat my food in my bed and like stay in my room for hours and watch TV. Like, yeah. So I did the thing. I got the food and then I like went upstairs to my bed and I ate it. One, I realized that it was gone before I even thought about the food. Like I ate it so fast. I didn't even enjoy the food. It was gone and I was still hungry. Like I wanted another footlong. So I got up and went and got another footlong. That within that 30 minutes. And for me, and obviously everyone's going to have a different appetite, but for me I knew that wasn't okay. Like there was something like I was physically full, but I wasn't at the same time. And maybe I was just so used to like stuffing myself that my stomach, I just could eat a lot of food, like, and which is totally fine. Like I think I've always had a big appetite no matter what, but it was just like oh, okay, so I can, finish 2 footlongs. I'm not feeling great about myself and I'm sitting in my dark room watching TV. Like I just did not feel good. I really didn't. And so I remember like looking up, how to lose weight or how to whatever. And there's all these like fad diets and horrible things you shouldn't listen to and like all these things. And I had tried that before. Like I had tried, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have like the crash dieting and the whatever and not eating and then whatever. But the funniest, most interesting part is that night, I remember like looking in the mirror at myself and not saying nice things about my body. And it does make me like so sad. Like I was just so mean. And sometimes that does cause change. And we'll get into that actually this episode. Anger and fear causes change. And sometimes they're a necessary energy to harness to cause positive change. But if you stay there, like it's not healthy for you. And I remember just not saying nice things. But the interesting thing that I'm getting to is I see meditation for weight loss 8 hours long on YouTube. Like fall asleep to weight loss. And I'm not saying this is going to work for everybody. But I was like, it was kind of at that point where I was like, well, screw it. Like literally screw it. I don't care. Like let's try this. Nothing else has worked. And I swear I turned it on. I fell asleep. And then the next morning, it wasn't like everything was fixed. Like all of my habits were, okay and all these things. But like, I know from that point on, I was just like, okay, like I'm angry enough. I'm determined enough. I swear that thing probably rewired my brain in some sort of way for 8 hours of sleeping. And I like have always said like that meditation, I need to find it again and like give it to other people that want it or whatever. It's like kind of funny. But yeah, it was like a YouTube meditation.
Awesome.
And that was, for like my fitness journey specifically, that was my breaking point.
What age was that?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I was a senior in high school, like 17, 18, somewhere around there.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
just sick and tired of being sick and
Sick
tired.
and tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's funny. I didn't know you meditated to that.
It's like I didn't even care for it, but I was just like, literally, like nothing else has worked.
I mean, you guys know I'm a big believer in transformation and sleep, and I read about it a lot actually in the different brainwaves that you go through in sleep, and you can drop into a different place where your mind processes differently. So, I mean, I would believe that it could help you for sure.
Yeah.
Totally does.
Yeah.
I love that because I thought I was the first introduction to meditation. I mean, mom sprinkled it in when we were kids too, but like, I didn't know. I had no idea that you'd done a meditation that was 8 hours long.
Well, it's like it's kind of the thing with like sleeping. It's like you don't even know you're doing it, even if your brain's working. Yeah. And so I guess, I will say this is like kind of funny. I've always loved ASMR, like ASMR on YouTube. I'll like fall
Oh, I
asleep
think
to
it's
that
so
all the
weird.
time.
You do?
Yeah, and most people do. They make
like-
fun of me for it. Yeah,
I
like
love it.
Really? Okay.
yeah. No, I literally get bullied, and that's
Well, I
why
kind of
I'm
make
like,
my own. I'm like, I'll watch someone make a mud hut.
Yeah.
ASMR.
Okay, maybe that's
Not like the
different. Some of
tapping.
my look and I'm like, this is creepy.
oh, I'm weird. I love all ASMR. I don't care.
I'd rather watch like slime making videos.
Yeah, but that's
Maybe
it's
like-
like the same
the same.
part of
Okay,
your brain.
But like the people that tap it with their nails and
Yeah.
stuff. Okay, anyway.
It's my favorite. It's my
digress.
jam. I can go to bed. Everyone look up Karuna Satori on ASMR on YouTube. She's
Okay,
the
I'm
best.
looking tonight.
But yeah, that was my breakthrough.
I love it.
I guess the very first part, and I know Kinley, you said that you wanted to talk about your
Yeah, I
breakthrough
also
too.
have a breakthrough. Mine was actually well, by the time this comes out, it's next year, but mine was this year recently. And I also feel like we have lots of breakthroughs.
Yeah.
Like, especially with me and my journey connecting to my body. My body was screaming at me, and it was almost like it started shutting down, which in my world is it's screaming at me, telling me like there's a breakdown happening, like we need a reboot, we need to do something different. But a pivotal one that I'm still on the tail end of, that I'm like, my life is never going to be the same from this moment, is I've been growing my small business for 3 years, doing retreats and serving women who've been through betrayal trauma. And as I've been working on my business, I've just been like exhausted. And then I'm like, I don't have the energy to go to the gym, but I'm also teaching people to connect with their body. And it's just like, I'm just exhausted, so exhausted. And so I don't remember the moment, but I remember the thought. And the thought was, the success in your business is completely tied to the success, not success, but your ability to move your body. Meaning, my business is only going to go as far as I'm willing to push myself physically. And if I'm not moving my body physically, I talk chakras. I know that's woo-woo, but I just have to say it so that I can explain it even better. So third chakra is all about your fire and your willpower and your determination to get something done. And it has to do with your ability to just have motivation to do something. And I didn't have motivation. I had desire, but I had no energy, no fire fueling either of the things. I was just exhausted. And I realized, like, if I work out in the gym or move my body in general, it has a direct correlation to how big my business can get, how many people I can reach.
It's really powerful.
And if I'm not moving my body, I'm going to stay at the same energetic level that's going to continue to create the same energetic business. And so I'm tired of working on the business. Going to the gym or moving my body is working on the business because it's working on me.
you. And I think I love that. I think with that, it's all about comfort, like being in your comfort zone. So the more you can be comfortable being uncomfortable, I think that's a huge win. And I think for any entrepreneur, any entrepreneurship, it's all uncomfortable. And that's why I think there's so many ties between like business owners and physical fitness. Like I really do, because it's like everyone talks about it, especially with running, because running is just hard. Okay. So hard. I'm trying to run and I'm like, gosh, I don't know how people do this, but it's like using the muscle. And if I'm going to talk actually to this, there's a part in your brain, it's the mid-cingulate cortex. And if anyone knows better than me, or I will quote everything down in the show notes, but I believe it's called the mid-cingulate cortex in your brain. It's like the epicenter of willpower. And the Huberman Lab podcast talks about how if you are good at being uncomfortable and doing things you don't want to do, that part of your brain literally grows in size. So like super old people that like don't move anymore, or like really, really obese people, that part of their brain actually has atrophied, because it's all about like doing stuff you don't want to do. Being uncomfortable is actually good for you. And I think that's like a perfect way to talk about specifically this episode, is like doing the hard things is self-care, is
And it doesn't
good for
have
you.
to just be physical. Like
Yeah.
mine, it's moving in the gym, and Brighton's is moving in the gym, but it's any goal. It could be a goal in your relationship. It could be a goal to go to school. Like it all mirrors each other.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say to that, Mom?
Man, I mean, I have so much I'm thinking because once again, I am much older than both of you, and so I feel like I go through waves, and I've learned in so many different times, or having breakthroughs, or bottoming out, or after having 5 babies physically, it's like trying to reset, after every time of that, and then after being done having 5 babies and getting back to just my healthy, comfortable weight, and then realizing, and then your body changes, and you go, you have menopause, and it's just like I've had to learn to love myself, and not just like, oh, I love myself, I'm a good person like my mom and dad told me, but like love myself, love and appreciate my body and what it's experienced in this life,
Yeah.
because I've been blessed with a body that has experienced these things, and my body has changed over and over and over. Every year of my life it's looked differently. And so I think my rock bottom, if there's something that really is a powerful reset for me, and there's been many, I would say it's today. Because
Really?
I'm sitting here on a couch with 2 of my daughters, and it's like I am still learning. And if I'm going to commit, which I am, to showing up weekly, which we are, and sharing, how's it going? What am I learning? I mean, that's a pretty, not rock bottom in a bad way, but like a wake up, like take care of yourself so that I can continue to take care of my kids, and I can continue to take care of my grandkids, and I can be a strong and passionate woman in the world. Today's pretty powerful. Yeah.
I love that. Oh, I think you gave me a really good segue with that, because I almost think you gave me your why. And I think that's a big part of actually doing the thing. So for the listener, the person listening to this, I'm sure you have kind of an idea of what it is you want to do, right? We all do. I mean, geez, there's like a list. It's never ending of things we want to do.
One.
Yeah, pick one. And I think it does really start with why. What is your why? So maybe as you're listening to this, like think about it and imagine it. And I will say that there is a lot of research to show, and I hate saying that because you're the doctor here,
No, not yet.
but
We can all
what
look at
I've
research.
yeah,
Don't
yeah,
be a
and what
doctor.
I've learned through like so much of what I've like listened to and stuff is that there's a lot of research to show that if you know your why, so it's negative and positive visions. So if you know your why and then make a positive vision, that is great. But also sometimes if you know your negative vision of what you don't want to happen, that actually can push you to change even more, almost always, because it's fear-based. And I don't want to say fear is bad. I think living in fear is bad. And I think living in anger and self-hatred and all of the things is bad. But I think if you can sit there and think about what you don't want, which is, not doing the thing that you really want to do, and harness that energy for change, that is really important. And I think, and I honestly want to ask you too, Mom, like, do you have any tips and tricks on like, I don't know, quick things that are like, like just do the thing, how to set it up so it's a real thing?
Well, we're going to be talking a lot, and so I'm going to start with one thing for
Yeah.
me, and that is awareness. In performance psychology, one of the first steps that is always important is awareness. So whether you're keeping a score in a game, do you know what I mean? Or you're meditating and you're aware of how am I feeling, how am I doing, checking in, and you're aware of where you're at. If you live in denial, which I can do that, like I'm great, I'm positive, I'm optimistic, but then I'm not being real and being aware with where I'm really at, I can't even start to create my why or where I'm going or what I want and what I don't want, because I'm not connecting to my mind and to my
yourself.
body and to my soul.
Yeah.
So awareness would be the first thing that I would say, and there's lots of ways to do that we'll talk about. But yeah, what about you, Kinley? What's your thought on that?
What's the question?
Kind of tips and tricks on like this. So
I guess mine
I
wasn't
have
a
this
tip and
episode is
trick,
like,
but
how to do the thing, but it's
I
like,
have one
how do you do
question.
the thing?
yeah.
So my friends and I always, I don't know where this came from, so credit to whoever made this up, but we always talk about the 2% effort. We talk about like, oh, I'm having a hard time here. And it's so nice to have someone to talk with about it. I feel like that's really important and a helpful tool. But even if you don't have someone to talk about, if you were to sit and ask yourself, what is a 2% effort, not 20, not even 10, like literally what is a 2% effort, which in more yoga terms would be like, I'm here in this moment. What is the one single next best step I could take? Like, what is that 2% effort?
Like breaking it down.
Is it sending a text or even just writing out the text? Like something so simple. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about in terms of problems that I've had, and I still do this all the time. You guys know this because you're related to me. We have so much access to everything we could possibly want to know. So sometimes, almost always, what I do is when I want to do something, I research about it. And my mom and I talk about this a lot. Like, it's like the research hole, or like you get stuck in this like phase of research. It's like, oh, like what are all the things? Yeah, preparing. And yeah, I think I heard this from Alex Hermosi. He's like a business guy. I don't know if you know him or not. But he says like the best, gosh, I wish I had it down and couldn't paraphrase, but this is paraphrasing it. It's like the most successful people in life in whatever area, it doesn't matter whatever area, is closing the gap between thinking about it and actually doing it. And that blew my mind because I'm like, oh my gosh, I sit here for months talking about it with a friend, brainstorming about it. And I think that's good. Those are great stages. But it's like, when are you just going to try? Genuinely. When are you just going to try?
You know?
Yeah.
Are you going to do it? Or are you going to want to do it? And like you said, the steps of breaking it down and studying, researching, all those are good things. And then at some point, it's like, okay, what is it?
Okay, what is it? Just jump. And how to jump? What's the first thing you can do to jump? And I love that, like breaking it down. And I think even,
I thought you were gonna
please.
change the subject. I'm like, wait, I have
No, please.
I just went to a business conference and multi-millionaires were up on the stage talking, and one of the common denominators of their talks was, by the time I've had an idea and executed, you've still been like, is this a good idea?
Yes.
Like he was speaking to the crowd saying like, the window of me having the idea and acting is so much smaller, and it may not be the right action, but action creates clarity.
Yes.
I also wanted to say I actually have last night I was done, so tired, so maxed, and I knew I had to have a conversation with Cameron about investment we were doing. I was like, I'm just so tired. I don't have the energy. But I also knew that we were going to be podcasting today, and I'm like, I need to wash my hair. And I was sitting in the tub, like with my hands on the side of the tub, just staring, I think, at Ray, my dog. And I remember thinking, if I can just wash my hair, I will feel successful. Like, of all the things I have to do tonight, before I go to bed, if I can just wash my hair, which is a 2% effort, like, and that 2% effort, I washed the hair. And then it was like, okay, a little snowball. I can have a conversation because my hair's washed.
Yeah.
Like it created that
momentum.
Yeah, it created
momentum.
That like, I can do it instead of like, I didn't do it and I can't do the next thing and I can't do the next thing.
Oh my gosh.
It's like Atomic Habits, you know?
It's so true. I think I didn't even like write this really in my notes, but gosh, that's something we talk about a lot. We've been hosting a workshop. And it's been free, but I think I don't know, the timeline of this, but there's going to be more stuff for this. So if we are still hosting the workshop, check below. But if we're not yet, that's totally fine. But that is the biggest thing that I keep telling people is the hardest part is the first step, whether in your fitness journey, your entrepreneur journey, anything like taking that first step. I look at that time and I'm like, oh, walking into the gym now for me, easy. So easy. Like I want to do it. Like I actually crave it. Yeah. Kinley's like, no. And that's what I'm saying is back then, that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And And it's funny because it's almost like you would think it's switched to continue. And it's like, no, continuing's the easiest part. You already know how it feels. The hardest part is the first step. But then if you can do it, you understand like one, what you're up against. And then you realize, oh, it's not as bad as you thought. And I've done this before. And then you have the confidence, and then it goes into momentum and action. And yeah, I love how you said action creates clarity, because gosh, there's so many things that I've done. And this is a framework that I really want everyone to hear, that whatever you've done, even if it didn't work out, it's good that you tried it so you know that it didn't work out, instead of thinking about it and wondering if it ever could have worked out. Does that make sense?
Talking to me?
Am
I mean, it's for anyone.
No, I don't
It's
know.
for anyone. I'm not going into why you're talking to me.
Oh,
Just,
yeah.
I had something
I didn't even think about
major happen today, and I'm so sad about it.
that.
And at the same time, it's so true. I would have always wondered if that was supposed to be, if I had not acted. And so I'm so, as shitty, I will use the word in this one, as crappy as it is, I'm so grateful that I don't have to live the rest of my life wondering.
So true.
Such a good point.
Yeah.
And I think that applies to every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Big and small.
Yeah. So good job.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. So how do you feel like with both of you made that switch? Like, I went through this hard thing, I'm recovering, and now I need to do it again, right? You're gonna have to face the thing again, or going to the gym, it's hard. I don't want to do it. I hate going, and now it's something you crave. How do you flip that switch? Because I think that's really the point that you're trying to make in this episode, is how to keep going when you feel like you've hit that
I want to
wall.
talk on this because I'm in the middle of it, and someone might be listening who's in the middle of it too. And granted, this happened an hour ago. I got bad news an hour ago. I feel like right now what I'm focusing on is feeling it. Because if I don't feel, I've learned through trial and error, if I don't feel it now, I'll tighten physically in the body, and I'll create beliefs in my head of like, I shouldn't have ever done it, or this always happens, But right now, instead of creating those blocks within my physical body and my energetic body, like my mind, I'm trying to just let the emotion flow and process it in the moment. And I don't even quite know what it looks like to try again, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not even thinking about if I'm going to try again or not. It's like, if I can just stay present right here and feel it right here, then I know that in the future, if I'm present, I will know if it's time to try again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
What about you?
I
Both
think-
of you.
And that is so
different.
that is so different with going to the gym
Yeah.
than a big
It's emotional.
life hit.
Yeah.
So it is different, but it is that resilience. You're really talking about in psychology. A lot of times I've written for years, almost 10 years now, on perceived self-efficacy. So do I believe that I can do something or not? And if you have self-efficacy, or you believe that you have strong self-efficacy, I can do it, then research shows that you will do it just because you believe you can.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's good to even, I hate to say, kind of lie to yourself. Like, you might not believe it, but I'm just going to keep thinking about how it would feel when I do, talking about how it's going to feel when I do, and I'm going to embody those emotions now and put that in my brain and my thought patterns now instead of waiting, so that your self-efficacy goes higher, because that is one of the biggest indicators of achieving something that you want to achieve.
Yeah.
Which is totally manifestation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can just put in the
And
the
that's-
woo plug.
And it's so true that it's just different language.
Yeah.
For the
same
same
thing.
Same
Yep.
practice.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh, so I had a practical tip that there's so many different ways this has been said too, I think the first place I heard this practice was David Goggins, in the book Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And I'm actually so grateful I remembered that book, because that is the book that I would plug to read if you're in this stage of life. He's very hardcore, obviously. Like, it's freaking David Goggins here. So, like, if you're not ready for a wake-up call, maybe not. Or if you don't like that style. But honestly, when I like read it, I was like, yeah, he's right. Like I've been lazy. I have been, like, so it's a good wake up call. It's a good wake up call book. But what he talks about is the cookie jar. So think about and write it down, all of the things that you've ever done in your life. It doesn't matter how big or small. For me, when I did this at first, I was like, I haven't done anything. Like, genuinely, I wasn't even trying to be like hard on myself. I was just like, I haven't done anything. But I thought back to in what was it, like 4th grade, I finished a 5K, and that was really hard for me. You know what I mean? Like, so 4th grade, I finished a 5K. I ran for
Can I
class
pause you
presidency.
for just
Yeah,
a second?
please.
That is one of the biggest ways to build your self-efficacy.
Yeah.
Self-efficacy is to look back, what have I achieved in the past?
Done. Yeah.
Even if it seems small, it really, it teaches your brain that like, oh, I did overcome that, and I overcame this, and I overcame this. And it teaches you a thought pattern that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think when David Goggins was saying that, he was on a podcast later on, and the host was like, no, yeah, that's like totally backed too. And he's so funny. He's like, well, I just did it because I knew it would work. And he's like, I don't care about your dang research.
Yeah.
He's like, you're out. He's so like funny. He's like, you're out there researching about it, and I'm out there doing it, which makes me learn exactly what you're researching about because I've done it and I get it. And I was like, you're so right. Like, genuinely, I'm like, you're so right. Like, I think it's obviously research is amazing, but like, there's probably so many people that have just done something like that, and they're like, well, duh, well, duh, that works because I've done it. So yeah, I think I love thinking about practical tips and tricks for the listener, because yeah, as much as I'm like, this is my story and this is what happened, and for you to relate, I also want to be like, yeah, like this is what you can do to change, to empower you. So the cookie jar was one, and then kind of the same idea, a little different, taking an audit of your life of like,
Wait, can I back you up? I'm sorry.
please, yeah.
What did you say about the cookie jar?
That's what the cookie jar is. So it's basically like every achievement you've done. It's like a cookie that you're filling your jar. Oh, sorry, I kind of didn't explain it. It's a cookie. It's like you're filling the jar full of cookies, and then when you need a cookie, meaning when you're running an ultra marathon like he was, he would pull a cookie out of the jar to eat, meaning he would think about all the things that he's done before, and like, yeah, saved it as like a cookie jar. So that's what he called it.
Actually literal papers.
I don't even know. I think his was mental.
Okay, well, let's say do it with paper.
Yeah, do
I
it
wanna
with
do it at
paper.
home.
Yeah, like do a little
cool.
jar. Like, why not? But I think he just called it that to call it
I
that.
don't have a good enough memory for
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna need reminders.
Yeah. But so he's like, yeah, when I need it, like it's my jar that I pull from. And I'm like, I love that.
Cool.
So yeah, sorry, I'm all over the place with
That's
this.
okay. I actually am going back. I love what you said, how he's like, I'm just doing it and learning. That's how I feel on my healing journey. Like, everyone's like, once it happens, your life has changed forever, which it is. When I found out my previous husband was being unfaithful, like, it is changed forever.
Yeah.
And I was going to 12-step, and everyone was sitting there saying, I've been here for 10 years. I've been coming back for 10 years, and I'm still in the same place. And I was like, no, I won't. Like, I love them. And this has nothing to do with them and everything to do with me. Like, I refuse for my life to be this in 10 years. And I don't know, maybe that's fire within me that I couldn't even say where that came from, other than maybe fear, but also determination, like both. Like, it's a no. So what can I do? And I didn't know, and I did everything I could, but fully believe that I've healed, fully. And research is still getting there to show that it's possible. Like, there's PTG. It's the opposite of PTSD, which my mom taught me this. And PTG is PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. PTG is post-traumatic growth, to show that you can actually take that energy of that crap you went through and channel it into a life better than you could imagine.
Yep.
And I've learned that I could heal from just doing it, not waiting for research to tell me whether or not I can heal. It's like, no, I actually just did. But
because you had the belief that you can.
yeah.
Can I pull out 4 words of what you just said
Yeah.
that I loved? It's just a no.
It's just a
I'm not going to do that. That is so powerful.
Yeah.
It's kind of the opposite of just do it. It's like, I refuse to do that. It's just a no. Like, I refuse to come back for 12 years and play this, be in the same spot. So so you decided otherwise. I think that's so powerful.
Which is cool that you even point that out, because at the time, like, I didn't even know really how to say no.
Mm-hmm.
But my soul was screaming no, even though at the time I didn't know that I was saying no. I had to work on that for the next couple of years. But yeah, thanks for pointing that
Yeah, I
out.
love that.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I'm just thinking about like, like even in the things that I want to do in my life, I'm like, just do them. Like, just stop worrying about it. Just do it, you know? I also want to say there's like this quote slash thought that self-care, discipline is self-care. And I do think it is. And I think every time I've ever done something hard but like overall good for me, even if it's like, yeah, healing, obviously, like, yeah, it wasn't easy, but it's self-care. And I'm sure you're so grateful for yourself to do that. And like, oh my gosh, I could talk about this forever. Literally last thing, and then we'll wrap it up. Another practice I do sometimes, when I'm like struggling about, even in terms of food, especially back then when I was eating a lot of food and I wasn't even physically hungry, it's called the future you practice. So yeah, if you want that extra cake or cookie or whatever, and obviously I'm talking in terms of like me and what I was going through, but you think about like, okay, tomorrow morning, is my tummy gonna feel good if I do this? Like, not even in terms of if I gain weight, but like, is my stomach gonna, like, am I gonna feel okay? Am I feeling my body? Am I taking care of myself? Or like, what's the reasoning for this? And every time that, no matter what this has to do with, every time I've thought about myself and then chose to like be grounded and be like, okay, no, I'm gonna listen to myself here. And then I woke up that next morning. I was so grateful. I really was. And I felt really good. And it's not even about the food. It really isn't. It's literally about like, I cared about myself enough to like do the thing that I know would make me feel the best about myself.
I also feel like, sorry, you were going to say something too. I was going to say, asking yourself, like, am I going to be grateful I did this? Because sometimes eating In-N-Out, I ate In-N-Out last night, and I'm so grateful still.
I'm grateful
that I ate 2 burgers, protein style.
I'm grateful I'm going to eat that now.
Yes.
Yeah, like,
I hope.
yeah. But
sounds
no,
really good.
what would my future self
Yeah.
want me to have done?
Yes.
And it was absolutely eat In-N-Out in the bath.
Yes. And I think it's literally, if the listener takes anything from this, it's taking an honest look at yourself. Because yes, I actually empower that. Where it gets sticky is like, okay, like, did you actually feel good about it? But there's so many times that I'm like, yeah, I'm so happy I just like had the cake at the place that I was never going to have that cake again, or like anything. It doesn't matter. But like, yeah, hell yeah.
Just
I'm
takes
excited. And I'm honestly, yeah.
With yourself, it just takes honesty of, it's the whole listening to your body. Are you listening to the convenience?
Yes.
Or are you listening? Like, there's a difference between
There's such a
no
difference.
and, oh, that's easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. Gosh, I think that's a great way to end it, to be so honest with you, unless you guys have anything else to share. Yeah.
When you were talking about how discipline is self-care, discipline of all aspects, emotionally, mentally, physically.
Mm-hmm.
Like discipline physically, the gym, what you're nourishing your body with. And we keep saying the gym. It's not the gym. It's movement.
Yeah.
But then also there's a discipline mentally, or like, are you letting your mind just think whatever all day and like you're just living in those repetitive thoughts? Or are you disciplined to be like, oh, that's fear. We're coming back to right here. We can do it anyways. Yeah. And then discipline in your soul of like, I believe your soul communicates to you through the body. So are you connecting with your soul to even know what you need?
And that takes work.
Yeah.
Like if there's a place where I am the weakest, it's truly connecting to my body and not letting my mind and everything else overload it. Like, so yeah, and that is discipline. Like even waking up in meditating, and meditating can be so many things, but
Totally.
yeah, that still takes work. Like, it's not easy. It's not easy to sit and stare at a wall
It
or
takes
close your
discipline.
eyes. Like,
Yeah.
it absolutely does. But
Sure.
I've never regretted anything that I've chosen to do for that reason after the fact. Truly. So,
Mom, do you have something to say? I have I'm like feeling.
No, I'm just like, there's so much goodness. I can just sit and listen like you guys. Let's
And you
see.
don't have to. I'm
Yeah.
like, you know so much.
No, I mean, you're saying kind of what I was alluding to at the beginning, which is awareness. It's like, just like you're saying, what is my body saying? Or does it feel good in the morning? Or living in the future you? When you said living in the future you, I actually thought of it in a different way, because you're thinking about it like, how will I be grateful for myself tomorrow if I make this decision? And I was thinking of it in the way of like living the future you now.
oh yeah,
That's
kind
how
of-
I
which is a
actually heard
good,
it too.
really,
Yeah,
Which is what
which
I've
both are
practiced
great.
and that's
lately.
a great, that's a great practice too. Yeah,
Both are great too. Like, what does superhuman Janae look like?
Yeah.
You know, do I have a
Yeah.
cape? Do I have, like, there's a lot of things that I'm like, what does that look like? So sometimes a really fun practice, as a tip maybe on our way out, is, have fun with it. Get out some crayons, markers, pens, paper, and draw and put on some music. What does future you that you want to embody now look like? What do
Yeah.
you wake up and do each day? What do you think? What do you wear? How do you speak? Those are all ways to start getting your brain prime for awareness and for change.
Yeah.
And think of it in present tense, not future.
Yeah. Oh no, this is me.
It's present tense.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is me.
Embodying
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
I just started a Manifestation Babe Academy. It's a very, very popular course about manifestation. And I've always, I'm like, I can't say yoga, I can't say chakras. And now I am working on saying manifestation, but I'm like seeing the science too. And I'm like, this is so, so real. Yeah. But the practice we're doing in the class right now is I like wrote down what is current Kinley. And it was like, okay, she stands with her shoulders hiding her heart. And I was just explaining what my current me was. And it was like, okay, what is future Kinley? And it was like, she stands tall. She eats at whatever cafe she wants, whenever she wants. And I was writing all these things. And now all day I've been trying to say, what would my highest self do? What would that future self do right now? And it's like, oh, I would wash my hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't sit
Good
here
job.
and go get on the couch. I would wash my hair. And I just asked myself, thank you, all day long, what would future Kin,
I need to
highest
I need to do
Kin
that.
do?
Yeah.
And it's wild, yeah.
I honestly, as you're talking about that, I'm like, I need to have that at the forefront
It's
of my
empowering. It's
mind.
like
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you
it's
don't trust
exciting.
yourself yet, there's times when I've even heard, think of somebody that embodies that and pretend that you are them
Ooh.
right now. Because if you
love
can't even conjure that up, and you're like, that's not
don't
me,
know
it's
what
not
you
me, it's not
are.
me.
Yeah.
I wake up and be like, I am blank. I'm not going to throw anybody's name on the table publicly.
So curious
But I
about
that.
I do have somebody that I think about, or many people in different situations. Depending on what I'm doing, that I'm like, I am this person. What would I do right now? And I act out of their intention if I can't even conjure it up in me yet.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's good. People have strengths all around us. It's not
For
bad
sure.
that we can't do everything perfectly. We're not meant to. So, who are the people that
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, this person would do this. I am that person. I can do that.
Yeah.
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 Fun.
Yeah. I hope that you got something from this episode. I really, I'm just like, I have so much fire right now for this year, this new year. I think things are looking up. And I think that you have so much more within you, so much more power to do the things that you want to do. You just have to believe in it, for one, and do all of the tips and tricks that we said. And yeah, and as always, if you guys have any questions, any comments, you can DM us on our socials, and I'll link everything down below. But yeah, until next time.
Until next
And then
Right.
until next time,
Sounds good.
we are out.
What do I do?